Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun! The show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
Next up to the tea, green, green, greens. Welcome, everybody, to Shonen Jumping the Gun. It is I, your hole-in-one master, Kermit the Grog, here with my caddy extraordinaire, Isekai Sensei-Sama Brad.
I'm going to recommend the 8-iron here.
We're going to need it for this one. And here on today's episode, as you already heard, we are talking about the brand spankin' new series. Literally at time of recording, one chapter out, dropping on November 26th, of the new Shonen Jump series, Green, Green, Greens. Green, 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 green.
Certainly.
A Kirby thing? Isn't Kirby Green Greens?
Oh, yeah, what is that? Green Meadows
or something? Yeah. Yeah, okay, no, enough distractions. So this is the brand new golf Shonen sports series in Jump, which we've covered some other sports series already. There seems to be a lot. They seem to, I'd say come and go, but a lot of the ones we've covered so far have just come and have not gone yet.
And I'm not into sports. What's going on?
They pull you. That's the magic of manga sports stories, baby. That's why they're great.
Oh, you don't know if maybe it's not.
We'll see. We'll get into it. So before we get into it, if you have not read it, which it literally just dropped, I will hit you with my patented Kermit speedrunning walkthrough of the first chapter. I'm going to do my best. So this is Green Green Greens. A glimpse of the future at Master Golfer Haiku Yakasi on the greens at a Masters golf tournament. And then after a really fun splash page, actually, cut to the now at the pool for gym class as Haku talks with his friend Takato about how much high-end athletes make to play and how excited Haku is for Takato's baseball career. Proper names will kill us. Later, Haku is called to the guidance counselor along with fellow female classmate Nadeshiko Oga, who I'll just refer to Oga because that's how everybody talks to her, to talk about their career survey results. We learn that Haku has no direction. He's a big fish in a small pond and has no career goals. We see Oga has made up her mind about whatever her goal is and glimpse on her career survey she wants to go to America. Wow, what a faraway place. Haku discusses this with his friends, not being able to imagine doing that and how cool it'd be to strive for something that much. One by one, his friends leave as they are busy with other life stuff and he is left with Takato. That is not how you say that name. The baseball guy from earlier. Takato I like better, talks up how sports-capable Haku is over dinner, and then they part ways. Haku ponders this, his directionless ways, wandering off until he runs into Oga, who is being accosted by a scam artist, who goes to smack Oga. Haku intercepts it on his face, and the two chat now that the scammer is gone. Oga was on her way to a golf driving range to practice, and Haku attempts to +1 himself along to watch. Oga is very stern and unhappy with him, but as he watches her knock golf balls way farther than he would have expected. Oga says she is going pro, which Haku finds so cool and cheers her on, as it seems she's got it made now, quoting how much Tiger Woods' post-tournament clubs sold for at auction. She offers him up the club to give it a try. He's never golfed before, and proceeds to suck, failing to hit it, or hit it only a small distance, and giving up after 7 swings. Oba pressures him, claiming that Woods' clubs were valuable because of all the effort he put into using them, to the point that the grooves of the club were completely worn down. She continues that athletes aren't just born geniuses, and that Haku is missing all the hard work and effort that goes into the process.
She rips him apart.
That he's just some hanger-on trying to get the positive feeling from others a compliment, finishing up with a point-blank, I hate you.
It was real hard.
It was brutal. Cut to Haku back at home with his family, mulling it all over, until he just has to go back to the driving range where he keeps swinging with little improvement. Oga passes by as she works there and offers to teach him a small form change, like his stance and all that. And he's starting to see some improvement. Oga apologizing, saying she went too far, but Haku confirms that she was right. Haku continues practicing, and it all comes together for a great shot, but Oga is already gone. This is normal for athletes, he thinks, that they put in the time by themselves sometimes, and he gets down on himself for getting excited over such a small thing, and that it was a fluke. Haku goes to head home when Oga reappears, seeing that his hands have been rubbed raw from practice, and smacks his injured palms, then offering up golfing gloves for the next time, and said there are no lucky punches, and this was no fluke hits, and to come back next time, which he is surprised by. With Haku gone, Oga ponders over how he hit the ball so well, so early with that particular club, an 8-iron, and that it wasn't a fluke but an occurrence. We close while Haku ponders golf in the bath.
I got the right club.
You did get the right club. I wrote down specifically in the thing, even though it wasn't important because I don't know golf well enough to speak on that.
Okay, I have to get this out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
Right away. Okay. I loved this setup of like, oh, he's fairly talented, but he has no drive, and he basically quits everything that he starts trying because he doesn't see the point in it. And then he gets a pep talk, which was really harsh, and sort of sets his mind straight. And I liked the direction that was going. And then they're like, oh, but actually he's super talented and he's like, could actually be.
But that needs to be like, I feel like that's what I like about the effort is that needs to be spun into something. Like if he had stopped at 7, he wouldn't have become anything because he would have just said, he's got the gifted kid problem. I'm not instantly perfect at this. I don't want to keep at it, even if he has all the tools to be good at it.
And I think, but that's the thing.
That's what I like. That's what I like about it.
And there's definitely something intriguing about that and interesting and everything. I don't quite like that trope that manga does, though, because I think it fails in actually speaking to youth who are reading these things. Because
does it?
Even though they frame these things as, oh, you got to work hard, you got to do this and that, and like mindset and all that, it seems to always still come back to, also, he's secretly talented.
That's the power fantasies, though, is that if I try this and kept at it, I'm secretly, just through whatever reasons, really inclined for this. Maybe that's my thing, and that's why I like sports one, of just like, what if I tried this and I just happen to be really good at it because of other life things?
But see, I'd rather have...
Do you want that to come from somewhere, or do you just want it to...
I'd rather have the protagonist get attached to the thing because there's something to it that is getting them there, rather than the fact that they are secretly talented in it.
I mean, he doesn't know that he's secretly talented yet.
No, and that's a good point. But we, the audience, know it. We saw Oga.
Yeah, and now we want to see it come to fruition. Like, this is a chance happening that led him down. He could have taken many paths, but this chance happening put him down this path because he was pathless.
And I just wanted to get that out of the way. I'm not going to harp on that because every single sports manga does it. And so it's not a problem that's specific to this series. So, but I felt the need to say
maybe that's a bigger conversation for mainline podcasts, because like this one's here, it's just like he is just good, and maybe we'll find out more reasons why. But like the one I Shield 21 is the sports manga I always come back to, and that one it's like, oh, the main guy Senna is really good as a running back because he's always a gopher and he's trying to get through crowds to get the stuff and get back as fast as possible, and that's why he's really good at like running and juking through people. And it gives you a reason, however silly, of why he's good, and then he trains it and he becomes better. It becomes something. And I feel like this is just he's just set up for it, and he's I mean, they talk about it. He's good at sports. He just never has really truly applied himself and gone like, I'm going to push myself. And I feel like this is a story of like, it's there, you just need to do it and it'll be there.
I did like the sort of the triggering moment where he's at home and his siblings come in and he's going to do this thing that he always does with them, which is to tell them about his friends who he thinks are great. And he has that moment where he remembers what Oga said to him and goes, you know what? I should be telling them about myself. I'm going to try and do something myself.
I loved it. I love that. And I loved Oga's. Hi everybody. You can tell we really like this because we're just like getting right into the nitty gritty of it. There's no like talking around. We were just instantly into the soup. I loved it. I just love Oga's tearing down him because it's so real. like it's mean, but it's not like comically, fantastically mean, like
I actually
villainously. Like it felt very like it felt mean but fair in the fact that like the way she apologizes is just like I like Oga. This is very like
sure, and although I will say
she's a little.
if it was real
chilly.
life, I would be like, that was too mean. Why are you so cold?
And she apologized about it, but she's
Right.
somebody who's.
But she
she's
didn't
on the
apologize until after she saw that he was going to do something about it.
She apologized. She apologized when she saw him again, which she wasn't expecting.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, you shouldn't be like this in real life. It works in this story. It's what he needed. She apologized when he came back and she saw that he was trying to do something about it. But like, if a real person was like that, if a real teenage girl was mean to a teenage boy like that in real life, I would say that's not okay.
But I think it's again, I felt a lot of personal connection with all the themes going on in this of like working at things. Like I like her thing because it comes from she's not just doing it to hurt him. It's coming from a place of like she works really hard at this and here's this wonder kid just showing up like not trying very hard. And it's like she's mad at him, but she's mad at something bigger than him as a concept of other people. He just happens to be. We have these arguments a lot where that you are that to me that you become the straw man of the bigger thing that I'm frustrated with. Right. And that's like this is why I felt connection to Oga.
And this is the key. We know each other. They are like passing acquaintances at school.
They are classmates. And like I said, she apologized, but she's also a more like frosty individual. Like she's not the most like friendly and social, even if she is like nice then. But like even the whole time where he's like the puppy dog, she's just like, nope, you stay over there. But it's like just the right balance. She's not like, okay, guys, this is too tropey. But I don't know. I really liked it. It felt like somebody was talking about it, and it felt right. And we'll probably cover it someday. And I don't know if you're reading it. Of Beaten Motion, which is about a similar kind of wayward guy, but that one's about him getting into, or back into animation, and finding I guess it's a romance for like who's a musician, but he was also in music. Like it's more like it's about the characters, but it's more about the process of like being an artist and growing up and stuff like that than it's like about the actual moment to moment happenings of the characters. And obviously, again, only chapter 1, don't know, but like I get that vibe here where this makes me feel more about a bunch of things that I have tried and people I've been on both sides of this, and I just think it's really interesting. And also you describing it at the start here after I did my summary, we've read a story recently that we've covered on this podcast that what you just described sounded really similar to. Could you jog my memory, Brad?
Which one was that?
What I'm asking you, what's one we covered recently that this whole thing of boy is good but reluctant and girl shows up who's better at it and eggs. Actually, no, we did 2 of those recently.
Well, for 2 on Ice, I don't.
2 on Ice is the one that I just thought of now, but the other one I would say is this is very MMA.
MMA
boy is good at it.
A bit similar, although I would
not
say
the same. I would not say not the same, not copying, but like this, like, hey, the girl is really good. The maybe probably romantic interest that we might get to at some point, and then, but like, and her love of the thing is what pulls boy in. The boy is also just good at it, and then dealing with that dynamic as well.
Yeah, I think that the 2 on Ice comparison is closer in terms of like how the girl, and I'll say prodigy, even though I don't know that Oga is necessarily a prodigy.
I don't even think she's a prodigy. I think she's specifically not a prodigy, and she's worked really hard, but we haven't seen her. We've seen nobody actually play golf. We've seen them just hit balls at a driving range.
But I think their attitudes are more similar than in MMA, that girl. And I think it makes more sense in 2 on Ice, the way that they portray her as like being a bit skeptical about this guy and what he's got going on. Although the main characters in each of those also have very different mindsets.
Yeah, they're all very, very different, but that like that waywardness, like not that
it's almost the opposite
from MMA is like that wayward where he's like, oh, I don't know, I'm just gonna take your granddad and I think I'll become like a nurse or something, but he still seems like not really set on a path.
Yeah, The 2 on Ice comparison, though, I think is interesting because the 2 main characters in Green Green Greens, he's good at stuff, but then just lets it go.
Yeah.
Whereas with 2 on Ice, the one thing he's not good at, he's like, I have to get better at
Yeah,
this.
he's trying really, really hard, and he needs to be...
Yeah.
His isn't innate talent, it is worked talent that needs to be spun into something, where the other one has innate talent that needs to still be spun into actual output.
But yeah,
so.
there is a lot of similarities. It's almost like all of these are, geared towards the same audience.
Yeah. But it's, I literally didn't put them all together until we sat down to talk about it, how similar they are, but not in a way that it feels like, oh my gosh, another teens doing supernatural thing that I had like at the beginning of the year, where I'm not like tired of it because it's still like cool and fresh, and I like cool, competent lady does a thing and boy needs to figure it out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about it. But yeah, with all of that, Isekai Sensei-Sama, what is your quick draw on this one? Pew, pew, pew.
I'm always wrong.
I mean, we're all always wrong, Brad.
Well, before I answer, do you want to give everybody a rundown?
No, I guess it's been a hot second, and I'll rename these to be fun, shooty, tooty, cowboy stuff at some point. But from the bottom, we have Certified Flop, which I generally mean will die in 19 chapters, which is I think the bare minimum 19 to 20 chapters for a Shonen Jump manga. I make that akin to spitting on somebody's grave. Usually it's ones that you're just like, this is god-awful. There is Flop, which like it's not going to live certainly past that or maybe around that, but you're not like pissed at it. There's It'll Live, which is the most like, it'll get like, maybe to 100, but probably not that far. A Hit, which is like, it's going to do well. It's going to probably get over 100 and probably get an anime. And then the Supernova, which is like an industry changer, like a Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen.
So what I want to say is that this will be a hit.
Yep.
I can see it, going far and getting an anime and everything. However, I have this strange feeling that it'll live. And I think that's because while golf is somewhat popular in Japan, it's not even close to as popular as like baseball or
especially not for young people.
The other sport in Japan that I'm blanking on for some reason.
Sumo,
No.
karate, basket, volleyball.
I said baseball.
You said baseball.
What is the
already.
other one?
What are you talking about? What's the other one? It's not football. Soccer.
Soccer. It's soccer.
Rugby.
Soccer's the other one.
No, Beast Child. Author of Beast Child.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's gonna go. I hope it's gonna go. I like it.
Yeah. I like it too. I will tell you what I put in for flop pool. I said hit. My brain doesn't believe it, but my heart wants to. And sometimes you're not supposed to do these votes with your heart, but sometimes you just gotta. Sometimes when it's like, I know this will probably die, but like I have to spirit bomb give it my energy. And this is one of those times where I just had a really pleasant time with it and what it was doing, and I'm like, I want to see more of this really badly.
And I gotta say, as opposed to some other ones, this first chapter I think did a really good job of being concise, getting to the point, giving you the information you need without going overboard, and setting it up to continue on.
That you want to see more.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. It's not that bad. So yeah, with that, as we said, literally hot off the presses, we were recording this one day after it officially came out in Jump. Like, can't be zero future sight, impossible future sight doesn't. Chapter 2, what's that? Literally doesn't exist. Yeah,
I'm literally going to slot this one in.
Because we were already in the normal rotation.
We already recorded a.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted like this was because as soon as this was happening, like we're recording, we're putting this in right now.
It's too bad the last episode just came out.
Yeah, I know. I had that thought too. So it'll be fairly close. Well, everybody, that's been another episode of Shonen Jumping the Gun in the Can with Green Greens. And if you'd like to play at home, And with this one, it might drop just in time. I'll give you if you say you listen to the podcast, I'll give you a little wiggle room. You can play along with us at home on the Shonen Flop Discord. I mean, join our Discord, but also join theirs. It's a good time where I run the flop pools, where you can place your own vote with a little frog emoji, because I'm Kermit, of the ratings that we literally described to you here, and I'll put you on my big Google spreadsheet, and we'll mark how you see. And then in a couple, in a month or two, when we've got enough chapters, I believe I check in at 7 chapters, we'll do another one, and we'll look back about how we've shifted, or maybe we were right, or it swapped around. So come play with us. So with that out of the way, Brad, hit me with them plugs.
Oh, yeah. As always, we want to thank Sugoi Mart for partnering with us. Sugoi Mart's a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch. They have a lot of cool stuff you can't get outside Japan. You can check the link in the description or use code APR15 at checkout to get 15% off your first order, which also helps us out. And you can let us know what you think on social media, which you can find links for on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com. You can also leave comments about these podcast episodes and also find other posts and reviews. We've got a Discord where you can chat with us, and you can check out our Patreon. Supporters get perks like getting to vote on which series we cover on heroin addiction, as well as getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast early. And we'd love to hear what perks you'd like. We also got to do our patron shout-outs. First off, at our Reincarnator tier, we have Cake Dwarf and Moon. Next, at our Merchant tier, we've got Kill Hour. And last but certainly not least, at our Commoner tier, we've got Rena. Thanks so much.
You should start talking up on Patreon. You get bonus episodes when we talk too long sometimes. Thank you, Brad, and thank you, everybody listening once again for listening to the show. Make sure you listen to our mainline show. That time I got reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster. And Brad, hand me the putter. I'm going to knock this podcast in for a birdie. They look the same. They're still gosh dang like the same person. You ask if they want ice cream cone, both of them say yes. They are twins, both are crap. Let's play.
But I am tired.
Just quote a bunch of
Then take a nap.
ancient
Then fire the missiles.
ancient dinosaur flash animation. Okay, enough of this. Cut somewhere. Two best friends play together. Oh, it takes me back. A glimpse of the future at Master Golfer Haku. I should have gone over this. Haku. We're gonna cut all this. I'm gonna do it fresh. Haku Yaesaki.
Yaesaki.
Not W. Y-A-E Saki. Yai.
Yay.
Come play around with the boys. And whatever's. I don't know where I was going with that.
Dudes. We can use that as gender neutral.
Dudettes, and Duderinos.
I think dudes.
The Dune Bees.
Dude is gender neutral now.
Dude is. I am a dude. You're a dude.
I'm a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude. 'Cause we're all dudes.
Hey!